Well, there you are. It's so good to see all these people coming into our network tonight. Boy, I have to tell you, things are really heating up in the Watchtower organization. I mean, heating up to the point that they're almost cooked. In fact, I believe they are cooked. Take them off the grill, really. Now, when you think about it, the problems they have been having, but friends, not just the problems the Watchtower has been having. How about the problems they've been inflicting on all of us for so many years? And it's only now that we're getting a voice. So it's so good to have a woman who is a former Jehovah's Witness. Her name is Anne Marie. And it's so good to have her coming in and doing a program here every other Saturday night, because what she's doing is she's reaching people. She's doing a great job. She's a nuts and bolts, practical person, and she wants to have you call into the program tonight. So do everything you can in your power to let Anne Marie know you're listening in and you really enjoy the program. Let's bring Anne Marie in right now. Hello, Anne Marie.
Hello, my brother Rick. Happy Six Screen Saturday once again.
Well, here we are, though. I'll tell you, Anne Marie, it's not even like once a week. It's like once a day. That's what it seems like. Yes. So, anyways, it's good to have you. Good to have you with us, and as always. And I tell you, there's some amazing things happening, Anne Marie. Some amazing things happening, and we all have a front row seat. We are all seeing the collapse of a religious organization that has done so much harm to so many people, Anne Marie. And even tonight on my news, I'm going to be talking about this Philip Bromley. He is a Watchtower lawyer, and he still is. And just in the last 10 days, he was fined $154,000 for lying, or at least stretching the truth, if you want to just be light on him. But the court is upset with him. But can you imagine the Watchtower? Even on jw.org, they do a little puff piece about him and how great he is. And here he was just sanctioned by a court. This is just over the top, Anne Marie.
Well, I'm sure Watchtower would foresee the possibility of him being caught doing what they pay him to do. That's lie and twist the truth as much as you can legally, and we'll hope for the best. Don't worry, we'll cover any of the fees, I'm sure. Because what can Watchtower do besides continue to lie and to create this beautiful fairy tale facade that the faithful Watchtowerites keep falling for?
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, as long as the witnesses, I don't know how they can even possibly want to stay in this debased organization. This is what really boggles me, Henry. You know, I talk about things that keep me awake at night, but this is what really, it's really coming home to roost here. I just don't understand. I mean, here you have a man, I mean, it's pretty much known throughout the witness world that this man was actually, lying in court, you could say. And at the same time, we have witnesses that just totally disregard this. But Anne Marie, they wanted us to be so honest. Don't ever tell a lie. Make sure you report all your income tax. Make sure that you put your seatbelt on. Make sure you obey every law of the land. And yet this guy's a lawyer for the Watchtower and goes in and actually stretches the truth. Unbelievable.
Well, they have one set of rules for the rank and file, because the rank and file represent to the world this beautiful persona, this beautiful image that Watchtower wants to project about how wonderful they are and how law-abiding they are and how good they are and how honest they are. But behind closed doors, just like it says in Ephesians chapter 5, it's a whole nother story.
Well, it certainly is, Anne Marie. Well, I'll cut you loose. And I know you're going to connect with your audience tonight. You always do. So I'm looking forward to the people. We get a lot already online here already. I don't know what it is. I was thinking that in the summer things would slow down a little bit. But boy, they are not. We're getting more and more people coming in every week. A lot of new ones, Anne Marie. A lot of people are leaving the Watchtower right now. And they're landing up trying to find out on some of these sites, especially those that are live, where they can interact. So we're getting a lot of PMOs, we're getting a lot of PIMQs, and I want to welcome anyone that's new in here tonight. Anyone that's new, don't head for the mountains. Stay around, listen to what we're saying, and you'll be very impressed. And we're not a bunch of mentally diseased, bad people. So, Anne-Marie, take it away.
Well, thank you, my brother Rick. I want to welcome everyone on this Six Screen Saturday, July 12th, 2025. And the theme for today is I want you guys to really think about this. I'm kind of taking a shot in the dark here. I want you to think, what is or has been the most difficult thing for you to have had to deal with in losing your standing in the Watchtower? What was the most difficult thing when everything was taken from you, your family, your friends, your reputation, your name smeared? What was your biggest challenge in trying to recreate your life, to try to reinvent your life? I want to welcome everyone today. I always want to put a shout out to the PIMQs. The PIMQs are the ones in between the PMEs and the PMOs. They are faithful to Watchtower, but mentally they're questioning. They're physically in the Watchtower, trying to do their best to be faithful, but mentally they're questioning and they're troubled and they're scared because the programming is so powerful. And part of that programming is to make yourself think that Satan is trying to take over your mind. If you're questioning or doubting Jehovah's organization, I want to welcome the PMOs who are physically in the Watchtower, but mentally they are out. They have done the research. They have passed questioning. They know the truth, and they have to hide it and play the game because they don't want to leave their wife or their husband or their children or their parents in the Watchtower to shun them.
The sound is good.
If somebody can mute themselves, that would be really nice. I just want to again welcome anyone listening today and later in the archives. And again, I'm hoping you guys will focus, but of course share anything that's in your heart. But the theme I wanted to focus on, at least for a while today, is what is or has been the most difficult thing for you to have to deal with in losing your standing in the Watchtower, to have to deal with in losing your standing, your reputation, your friends, your family, after losing everyone and every because of the Watchtower. What was the hardest thing that you had to deal with in being faced with having to figure out how to reinvent or how to recreate your entire life while you're devastated, in shock? Because it's hard to go from everybody loves you, everybody smiles at you, hi, how you doing? And now they don't even see you. They'll turn up their nose and walk right past you like you're a fly on the wall. It is a sad, sad thing. Anybody want to chime in? Say hello. This show is for you.
Hello, Anne-Marie.
Is this Susan?
It is. I'm sorry I interrupted you before. I forgot I was unmuted.
Oh.
I apologize.
Oh, my love, you are so precious. The other person who was on, just wait one moment if you don't mind. I would love to hear what our dear sister Susan has to say. Go ahead, my dear.
I would say, and I think you'll agree, that the loneliness after getting out of the Watchtower is the hardest to deal with. You might not have been super close to people in the Kingdom Hall, but at least we had people to talk to. Now we have no one. And we didn't really involve ourselves in the world, so to speak. So we have no one. So I would say the loneliness, the lack of friends is the hardest to deal with.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Wow. Susan, how did you deal with it?
Well, you helped. I had phone friends, and there were a couple other people that I had a chance to call. And by keeping up my phone friends and they being able to relate to me, It made a big difference. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have people to call, because everyone has problems. I don't care who you are. Your problems are your problems, and they're difficult to deal with. I was going through a divorce, and that made me lonely too. My kids dumped me. That made me lonely too. So I was just nowhere. But by having you and others to talk to made a big difference. So I want to personally thank you for being part of my phone friend group. Thank you.
Wow. It's so hard, isn't it? I feel like I cheated. I didn't have as hard a time, not even a near hard a time, as so many others. I feel for you, Susan. I don't know how you endured it. The way you were treated.
Marie, I got to hear your story too. And when I did, I thought, well, maybe my problems aren't so bad. I think you had it pretty rough. I do. But by listening to how you got through it all, it helped me. And that's why I'm kind of excited about the Stay Alive in 2025 convention, because we're going to help people. And I hope people take down phone numbers and get to make some friends, because it's going to make a big difference in your recovery from leaving the Watchtower.
Yeah. It's kind of like becoming a new parent. You don't know what the heck you're doing, but you just kind of do the best you can with what's in front of you.
Well, just want someone to listen. You know, they may not have the answers, but they listen to you, and that makes you feel validated. And I think it's very, very important to connect with other JWs. And if you don't have any in your area, which is possible, you can always pick up the phone.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. I feel like coming out of the Watchtower and trying to figure out minute by minute of every single day after being, out of the Watchtower, it's kind of like learning to walk. You were a tiny baby that maybe couldn't even talk yet, but you just felt like, hey, I'm just going to learn to do it. I'll figure it out. No matter how many times you hit your head or fell or stumbled, you still kept going until you learned to walk, and then you learned to run, and then you learned to ride a bike. We have that inside of each of us that can get us, figuring it out. Wow. Thank you, Susan. Anything you wanted to add to that?
No, but I'd just like to hear how other people dealt with, getting out of the Watchtower, how they felt also. So I'll receive the floor to somebody else.
Oh, you're so kind. I'm thanking you for chiming in, Susan. I appreciate that so much. With the caller that was calling in, are you still waiting? Please feel free to speak. I'd love to hear your point of view.
Good evening, Anne Marie.
Well, good evening. Who's this?
This is Penny.
Penny?
Uh-huh.
Hi, Penny.
Hi. I call in frequently, sometimes, but I don't like stepping on folks. So I'll just leave whenever I have that happen. But I want to say that I have listened to the different stories of everyone.
Uh-huh.
And when my story is different than a lot of people's. My story began at a very early age. And this was all I did know until I was put in the foster care system because of sexual abuse. So then I found a different way. I ended up being baptized as a Baptist. Was not baptized prior to that. However, I in time would still have so many questions. Why didn't they not use Jehovah's name? Because I was so sold on that at an early age.
Okay, Penny, I need to interrupt you. It sounds like you want some time to tell your story, and I would love to hear your story. You know, Rick has an hour set aside tomorrow if there's nobody scheduled. If you would like to share your story, we would love to have it. What I'm looking for today is what was the hardest thing for you to deal with when you had to come out of the Watchtower, however you left or got kicked out. If you would like to share that, I would like to, know what it is. But if you want to share your story, which we would all love to hear, tomorrow at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, there is a show Rick has for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses share their Watchtower story. Penny, would you like to think about maybe coming on and we could hear your story?
Well, at some point. Yeah.
What's that, dear?
Yeah, at some point, because I can get to, I'll just skip over the story part, but it really is all so relevant. But my thing is I had just started to go back.
Okay. So why don't you just
2018.
Okay, so Penny, why don't you just go ahead and when you decide, if you decide, please feel free to come on tomorrow, 11 o'clock Pacific Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And we would love to hear your story. But for now, can you just, if you don't mind, I would love to know what was the hardest thing for you, if something comes to your mind, from being in the Watchtower to being kicked out or leaving. What was the hardest thing that you would say was for you to deal with? Are you still there, Penny? Did I upset you? I'm sorry. Okay, would anybody like to comment? Star 6? Yes, go ahead.
Hi,
Yes.
King of the Dots, formerly King of the Dots. My daughter, she's like a genius. She got me on the internet. I took 6 weeks off, and I'm not going to read them right now, but I wrote 275 poems in 6 weeks.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm really good to go. But I fell down my steps 2 days ago.
What?
Didn't break a single bone.
Oh, thank God.
I'm doing a lot of stretching exercises, so it was a close call. I thought, my wife's going to get rid of me,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 70 years old, by the way. And you might not understand that because you're only like 50 or 55, So you may not understand the angst that goes through your head in a split second,
Uh-huh.
But my biggest pet peeve is, and I did just write a poem back today, but it's my brother. I used to read him bedtime stories. I studied with him, converted him, and he's an elder now. And he's
good gracious.
Jerk. Complete, total, absolute jerk. So, okay, I'm going to do it. I wrote a poem about my brother. Okay?
Well, I hope it's not too long because King of the Dots, at one point, I want you to share what was the hardest thing for you to deal with or to face after coming out of the Watchtower. Can you do that for me?
Neglect? Yeah, I can do anything for you, Marianne.
Oh, what's her face?
He is, anyway, he's neglecting the family. Look, it's been a year and a half since my mom died. He won't visit my dad. He's taking my dad. I mean, he's a typical elder, in my opinion.
Oh.
Anything from the worldly family with money.
What's the name of your poem, King of the Dots?
It's taken from a Shakespeare line where I think it's in Macbeth. Alas, poor Europe, knew you well. And this is called Alas, poor elder, I knew you well. But just let me read it. It's only
absolutely. Go ahead, dear.
Escalation is just the normal transformation to the complete disfiguration of the soul. But you won't get no pity from me because you chose the role, and it would become your life's biggest woe. You can't hide your sins, the suicide faces and the families who were separated by your endless judicial cases. You just couldn't let it go. And now you look in the mirror and see a man that nobody knows. You became the monster that not even you know. You thought you were protecting the congregation from monsters, but actually you became the monster. I messed that up. Anyway, escalation leading to complete degeneration. But you can't stop yourself, so God's got to do it for you, for us. You were played for a fee-cracked fool and became a Warwick monster. While they claim plausible deniability, you will be in torment for all eternity. So choose wisely if you really want to rule, because the only real survivor here is the dead man you in the see in the mirror, fool, because you kicked everybody else out. And thank you for your service, by the way.
Wow.
That's all I've got tonight. You know,
Have you thought, King of the Dots, have you thought, you have some really thought-provoking, oh yeah, I know what that's saying, really great poems.
Personal experience. And I pray to God that I don't think Rick is that kind of elder. I'm a good judge of character, but most of them succumb to that stupidity.
Okay.
You know, that's all I got to say about that.
So what was the hardest thing that you had to deal with after you got either kicked out or you left the Watchtower?
Elders. It was still elders. Constantly harassing me, okay? Harassing my family. Harassing my daughter who moved in with some guy. No, they don't give up. They're like some sort of kick that gets on your butt. And I don't know where they think they've got the right to do that. Leave people. Here's my voice for any elder. Leave people the hell alone and get off your damn high horse, because you're going to pay for it dearly. No one gave you the authority to be that high-minded and judgmental where you're going after people years after they stopped going to the damn Kingdom Hall. Yeah, it's an irritant to me. And I call up the elders occasionally and jerk them around, the way they jerk me around. And I bring up thing. I told you that a couple weeks ago. Anyway, I'm on a rant, but again, it's personal experience, and they need to stop. They need to leave people alone, because they keep changing all their views, and they're still jerking them people around for views that they keep changing. It's just stupid. How many people got jerked around for beards, Marianne? Anne-Marie.
Yeah. Okay, so in a few words, succinctly, can you tell me the one thing that you would say was the hardest thing for you to have to cope with after leaving Watchtower?
Reading poems on Rick Barron's show.
You're not helping.
I don't like public speaking. I don't like public speaking, okay?
Oh,
that's all I got to say, Anne-Marie.
Okay, sweetheart. So
my demanded that I go on the show tonight. You know, she demanded it. And
yeah.
I'd be happy, you know.
So would you?
I'd be watching baseball games or something. Something productive. I'd be doing something productive.
Okay, King of the Dots, you know what? I really want to thank you for chiming in and sharing your poem. And I like that what you said about an elder. I'd kind of like to have a compilation of your poems sometime, you know, because some of them really, really speak to me.
Well, you know, that'd be kind of creepy if it's poem was speaking.
Oh, stop. It is not.
What? I can't stop. But
Don't start with me. Don't start. Okay. Thank you.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Chime in if you want to share what the one thing is that was the most difficult for you. Okay, my brother?
Hello?
Hello, who's this? Hi, who's this?
I didn't know. Well, I thought there was somebody else chime in. Yeah, this is Thomas Hodge from Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh, hi, Thomas. Hello.
Hello. I think one thing that really bugged me was just, oh man, just feeling so terribly, terribly betrayed by these bums.
Oh,
They could
yes.
outright, all-faced, blatantly lie to you and just say, we have the truth, and come to find out, they have one of the worst Bibles in the world. It just blew my mind that I could be so brainwashed and so misguided for 21 years, precious years of my life. I know some have been a lot longer than that, sadly. But it took me several years, depression and everything. There wasn't a problem, so I don't know what I was doing, really. I'm telling you, that really just struck it. I mean, I really thought I had something. I mean, I just couldn't believe that I could be so wiped out and brainwashed by these things and not see it. It just bugged me, But anyway, time does help, believe me. But looking forward to the conference. My land, I was going to ask that King of the Dots if he was going to come to the convention and bring those poems. I'd like to meet him too, of course, all of you.
You know what? Yeah, I agree. You as well. Thomas, that's something I didn't think of, but I have thought of over the years I've been out. You said one of the hardest things to deal with, not that all of the things weren't hard, but you said betrayal. I didn't realize, but that is such a huge thing because you believed, you trusted, you thought you were serving God in the best way, in the most honorable way. They convinced us that this was God's organization, the truth, the only true religion. And when you find out through research, through finding out the truth about the truth, when we realized our trust, our belief, our faith was totally betrayed, that we were actually lied to and manipulated, and the realization, on top of being kicked out and labeled a wicked apostate, and now you're bird food and you're going to die and God's going to kill you, and all your friends and family look at you like you're dog doo-doo. On top of that, you have to face it, you were betrayed, your trust.
Yeah,
well,
exactly. I mean, it's like this. If they could have just been honest. Oh, no. They're going to lie and lie till the cows come home. That's just the way they are. The shunning and everything, the whole 9 yards. It's just a wonder that more don't commit suicide. God forbid, I hate to see even one do that. But, it's no wonder. So I really look forward to this convention. I think it's really going to be really good medicine for everybody. It's just going to be so beneficial. I think it'll help us all to heal more. Oh, there'll be lots of tears and hugs, but it's going to be really good. I'm telling you. I just have a good feeling about it. Looking forward to it. Thanks for all you do, too. By the way, you contribute so much to our conference, folks.
Well, we thank you for being a faithful member of the Six Greens family, and we all have to, I personally request that everyone think about our dear brother Rick and how hard he works literally every day. He'll get up in the middle of the night and work a few hours on the computer trying to do everything for the shows and calling people. And he does so much work that nobody sees. And his sweet, dear wife, Susan, in the background monitoring, and she does a lot. And, we are so blessed to have this platform, this venue that Rick and Susan provide. And I'm so grateful to them. And now that he's doing this, putting this convention together, and we are blessed, Thomas, in ways that we probably don't realize.
I know. I just hope some way, somehow, I can really show him a great deal of appreciation. I know I can't measure up to what I would like to do for him, but I just hope that somehow, some way, I can really kind of give back enough to make myself feel good about, what I could show him, because he's done so much beyond what I could even imagine doing. I'm just so grateful to him and Susan. Boy, that's hats off to them. I'm telling you, it's the truth.
Well, just letting them know when you see him, a hug, a handshake, and just tell him that you really do appreciate. And, that means a lot to be seen, to be validated, to be appreciated, to hear someone tell you that you are appreciated, to look you in your eye and tell you, thank you for all you do. That means just about more than anything, Thomas. You think?
Sure does. You're so right, Emily. We're so blessed that we could go. I'm looking forward to it. The closer it gets, the more exciting it is.
Oh, thank you so much. Is there anything you wanted to add, Thomas?
It's just about it. Just kind of the usual feeling I got to put up with.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's the fun part.
Where I work, this lady, there's two of them that are JWs out there. This one lady walked by and she just happened to see me just in a split second, and I smiled and she smiled back. But it's kind of weird. The next two times she walked by where my workstation was, she made a point to turn her head and didn't even look at me twice. And they just want to snub you and they just want to throw it right back in your face. It just never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, it can be it can blow you away the way they act. But, that's the inculcation of that mind control programming, and they don't even know that they have been programmed, because if they weren't under the mind control program of the cult, and they don't even know they're in a cult, they have no clue, they would be more their authentic selves. I look back, I was a total bitch. I was an arrogant, self-righteous, thought that I didn't even know I was like that. I truly didn't. All I thought about was being faithful to Jehovah, and I'm not going to put up with anyone who is a wicked apostate and turned on Jehovah. Oh, I was so self-righteous. I was a total Nazi JW. And why in the world God saw fit to rip me out of that organization? I always say he ripped me out of there by my hair, because I was never going to leave. I would rather die, because I thought that all those bad feelings and the way I was treated, that was Satan trying to use other people's weaknesses to get me to leave Jehovah. I'm never going to leave Jehovah. I'll die first. It was so twisted. But what I never could understand is 39 years. Last month, it was 39 years I've been out. And to this day, not one of my JW family has gotten a clue. In fact, even more of my JW family were raised in it, believed it, faithful to it, and think I'm this wicked, terrible person. Oh, here's the newest one. I'm terrible because I'm guilty of hate speech. And I'm like, oh, God. And of course, all the things they say about me, that's fine. What was that?
Marie, yeah. I tell you why you're able to be out of that, because God saw something really good about you. He could see a real good person behind that JW outward appearance. That's the reason why you're out.
Oh, who's this, dear? What's your name?
God.
John?
Good in you.
Oh. Well, I know I used to tell my kids, because they were such great kids, and I was not a good mom. I loved them, but I was under Watchtower programming, and I used to look at my kids every once in a while and say, I must have really done something good in another life to deserve great kids like you. I couldn't figure out how come they were so good when I was such a wreck and a mess.
They didn't know any better. It's unfortunate.
Oh, I'm surprised they still talk to me.
I'm glad. Thank you, Lord. You're
a
good person. You do so much.
Bless your heart. Nobody ever says that. That is so sweet. I'm going to be smiling the rest of the day.
Say that more to each other, because we're all human.
Yeah.
We all have this.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you've been raised to believe that if you ever leave, quote unquote, Jehovah, everything's a double meaning. If you ever leave the Watchtower, you're a wicked, apostate who's turned to Satan and serving Satan, and you're this terrible person that deserves to die, and you betrayed Jehovah's love, and he showed you the truth and protected you, and you were honored to be in his organization, and then you turned. I mean, it's all so twisted, and we're so inculcated to believe it. What's that?
I know. Yeah, we never got to hear the other side. We never, really got to see the real truth about this organization. The internet came out. That helped a lot more. I got out. And just as the internet was coming out, I got Raymond Francis' book back in '98 when I was up. So I'll be telling my little 5-10 minute testimony. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to have somebody record it because it means a lot to me. I got some friends that want to hear it too from work and stuff. So, anyway.
And I want to make sure I am speaking to John. Did you say John was your name?
Thomas Hodgson.
Okay, I thought I was thinking Thomas. And I'm like, why does John sound like Thomas? Okay. I have to be sure.
Sure, not a problem. Well, I look forward to meeting you soon, and I'll let somebody else talk. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Anne Marie.
And you as well, my brother Thomas. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to share? I'm kind of focusing. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Joe from Ely, South Carolina.
Well, hello, Joe from South Carolina. What's going on?
Well, what affected me the most was the loss of community. Being in for 49 years, born in pretty much, raised in the Watchtower. And, I went from having friends and family, because most of my family were in the Watchtower. So it was a loss of community. That's what affected me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joe, are you the one that was doing those great parodies of an undercover detective, 4949 or 4747, that was a guest at Kim and Mike's? That was
Yeah, I took that channel down. I just took it down. I was struggling a little bit, but I enjoyed doing it, and I wish I would have kept the channel up. But I just appreciate the ex-witness community, Six Screens, and everybody because we do have a community. We do have a community.
Oh, yes. And Joe, I want to thank you for everything you have done. And I want to thank you for chiming in and expressing that one of the biggest losses we had to deal with was the loss of community. We felt like we belonged. That is a deeply embedded in our genetic structure, actually, the need to belong and be part of a tribe, to be accepted. Dr. Phil, who's great psychology, he has a master's, I believe, in psychology. He said the number one human need is not love. Believe it or not, the number one human need is to be accepted. Not necessarily to be agreed. Yeah, and I realized she was right. To be accepted. And when you are accepted, you feel like you belong, you're part of a group, you have a place. And to be completely kicked out of everything your tribe, your community, as you said, your group, your religion. And I think, and this is what Rick, I think, has touched on as well, a lot of what holds them together is like, what is the glue that keeps people in this organization? And I truly believe it's that feeling of community, of belonging, of, if you were the only person that you knew, none of your family, none of your close friends, no co-workers, no neighbors, nobody that you knew was actually part of that organization, and people treated you nice, but you weren't really close to anybody, would you still be there with all this stuff going on? How would you be able to talk yourself out of any garbage that comes to light? I mean, they say, oh, that's just apostate lies. Oh, that's not really happened. Some apostates got there and made that video, made it look like this and look like, I mean, it's almost laughable, but it's sad because they want to hang on to that belief system. They want to stay in that Watchtower fantasy bubble because they can't bear the thought of losing their community.
You know, I want to add one more thing real quick, and I'll get off so somebody else can talk. It's not only the loss of, because I lost everyone, because you know it was ingrained in me that you can't have friends outside the Watchtower community, right? So when I was dismissed, I was dismissed as an elder, but the thing that I always tell people, the Watchtower is actually anti-family. They do not like family structure. If they did, they would never have these terrible policies that destroy families.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Oh, dear Brother Joe, I have missed you. I was just watching you about 2 or 3 days ago on Kim and Mikey and some other videos that they had saved. And you are in a genre all of your own for really highlighting the reality of the ugly side, you know, as Rick said, what goes on behind the curtains of the Watchtower. And I want to thank you so much, Joe, for chiming in.
Well, thank you.
Anne Marie?
Yes, who's this?
Well, honey, it's Constance. So great to hear from you.
I've been trying to call you, girl. None of the numbers work. Not even I had 3 numbers, 2 for you and 1 for Dick. And I just thought, I hope Constance doesn't think I forgot her, because I don't.
Oh, honey, no, I didn't know that. Well, the thing is, honey, I wanted to tell you, Joe is our guest this week. He's with us down here. And he's going to be our,
excuse me, there's an echo. Do you have your YouTube on or another phone? Something?
No, let me see. Joe, I need you to, hold on, Bob, hold on. We're going to turn off the speaker. I think that's what. Could you turn off the speaker on your phone? Well, please. Because she says there's an echo. Okay, here we go, Anne-Marie. Is this better?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, so much. Thank you, my sister. What's on?
Okay, well, Joe's been our guest here for this week, and we still get to have a few more days with him, which is so wonderful. And he is going to be our guest tonight on our show after yours.
That is so great. Oh, that is
I
so
didn't know if you knew that. I'm busy cooking dinner as the guys are getting ready, so I haven't listened to Rick's, preview. But yeah, Joe's going to have the whole show with Rich, just talking about his testimony. And, he was a JW for 49 years, and he was an elder for almost 14 years. So he has a lot to share with the audience tonight. So we're so thrilled to share that, Anne-Marie. So I hope you get to tune in too as well.
Oh, I am hoping for that. Well, Constance, if you don't mind, I don't know how long you are involved with the Watchtower, but do you have a thought of what was most difficult for you personally in going from being an accepted, member of the congregation, now all of a sudden you're not there anymore, you either left or got kicked out or shunned, whatever. Do you mind sharing what was hardest for you?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I would say for myself, it was definitely also leaving that sense of community, because the JWs were not only community, but they were my family. I was not born in. I was not born in. I was a convert in my teen years. And no one in my family were JWs. My mom had studied, but she had passed away. She never got baptized. She was pretty smart that way. So anyway, I was the only one that was a witness in my family, a baptized witness. So when I left the community of the JWs, but then I was not close to my own flesh and blood because of age with my siblings, age-wise, and also my being a JW separated us. So when I left the organization, I absolutely lost everybody. My family and I never did reconnect, never. So
it was a very extremely difficult time for me. But that sense of community, I thought, quite a few sisters in the congregation, we were like, fleshly sisters. Then you find out afterwards that they're really just, that the love is really conditional. It's not real. It's not genuine. It's just fake love. So it was a real challenge, honey. Yeah, for me, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Oh, my goodness. Well, Constance, I want to thank you so much for sharing that. And I am so glad. Yes, I did hear Rick's preview of your show, and I did hear his name, Joe, but I didn't connect that he was the Joe, 4747, the private eye, JW. Oh, my God, I miss those. And he had been a guest with Kim and Mikey, and it was just like, oh my God, where is he? So this is fantastic.
Yeah, the show probably literally will be 2 hours tonight, just with Joe and Rich. So it should be really, really good. So, Rich, did you want to say something to Anne-Marie? Okay, hold on, honey. Rich wants to say something to you.
Yeah, good evening, Anne-Marie. I'm really enjoying the show. And I want to do a little selfish promo for our program coming on next.
No worries.
I know you did, honey. I know, but it's not as selfish as mine is going to be. Connie's son, I already told her.
No,
anyway,
great. You guys do a great job. Really, really do a great job, and I love it. Go ahead, my brother.
Well, thank you, Anne-Marie. That's very flattering, especially coming from someone like yourself who does a phenomenal job every program, day in, day out, week after week, and month after month. Anyway, Joe has been, as was alluded to earlier, he had been an elder for 14 years. And as Rick would say, he knows where the bodies are buried.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to be talking about, on our program, does the Holy Spirit run the elder body, and particularly the governing body? But so stay tuned. We've got a really good program coming up. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Well, thank you. I was just thinking, I'm glad I didn't take a sip of my cola, because I would have been spitting it out through my nose when you said, does the Holy Spirit really run the elder body? Oh, please. They don't. Oh, my Lord Jesus. The lies that they tell, and the twisted lies, and I can't wait. Everybody's going to be listening. This is this is great. It's perfect. It's going to be perfect. Thank you so much for doing it.
It's certainly going to be wonderful. And I think Rick might even be very gracious to us. And if we're over 2 hours and people are calling in with a lot of questions, it's what we anticipate. We might even stretch over more than 2 hours. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. I feel bad I take so much of Rick's time. In fact, I hope I'm not, I don't want to encroach upon your time. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how long I've been on. Uh-oh. let me ask our brother, because you're right after me, so I have to make sure I warm it up. Thank you, my brother Dick. I appreciate you and Constance coming on, and Joe coming on. That was a nice share. So far we have had, the hardest thing to deal with is loneliness. Also betrayal. I really like that. Betrayal, being lied to, lied about. And of course, nobody has said the shunning yet. My hardest thing was realizing that I couldn't call up Sister Pioneer or Sister Elderite or Brother Elder or Sister Bookbag for advice, because I was always worried that somebody else knew better than I did, and I was a stupid idiot, and everything I thought or did was wrong. So I was always checking in with everybody. I was always getting called into the back room or pulled to the side of the Kingdom Hall after a meeting to be questioned about some stupid little thing that I said, or somebody said they saw, or somebody said they heard. I could not believe how much I was constantly, basically in trouble, or sort of in trouble, or felt like I was in trouble, and to all of a sudden realize I only had myself to answer to in Jehovah. And I thought, oh my God, I got to figure this out. I have to figure out how to use my own brain, which I actually used to do before I joined Watchtower. So I want to thank everybody for coming in. My brother Rick, if you're there, could you tell me where I am time-wise?
Well, Anne Marie, you got
Brother Rick?
you got Anne Marie can hear me. Okay, hold on one.
Yes, my brother.
All right, you've got about 10 minutes to go. Yeah, so stay in there. You got 10 minutes, and we start their program, and actually about 8 minutes from now. So go ahead and continue on.
Oh, okay. 8 minutes. Okay, thank you. I'm looking at my clock. Rick, I am so excited about Brother Joe coming on Constance and Dick Borghi's show. I am like grinning so hard my cheeks hurt. This is great. My brother Rick, if you're still there, I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing on this subject of what was the hardest part that you had to deal with, even though I know you and Inez came to know through study and prayer God's plan of salvation through Jesus Christ. But I'm just wondering if you might want to share what was the hardest thing for you to deal with, to adjust to after being thrown out of God's organization.
Well, yeah, I'll talk about that for a little bit. What it was, Anne Marie, is I got out because of the theological teachings in the Watchtower. And only about 20% of Jehovah's Witnesses leave because of the theological teachings. But I started noticing, my former wife and I, that the Watchtower really is very much mistaken when it comes to correcting themselves with Scripture. They can't do it. They cannot. They pick and choose, and they pick scriptures to fit their agenda. So I started seeing all of that. So that's what really got me out. So I was thinking, and I love God, and even when I was in the Watchtower, I loved Jehovah, as we would say, and I wanted to learn about him. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think if a person wants to learn about God and walk in good footsteps, I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's bad. So anyways, when I left the Watchtower, I said, wow, I'm connecting now with the true God. I really see that what the Watchtower teaches is false. But what really frustrated me and made me somewhat upset is I was thinking when I left that I was going to be able to reach a lot of witnesses, those still in, and even some that were getting out, and hope to bring them to the Bible's true teachings. And I was in for a rare occasion. It didn't work. I went to some of these so-called meetups, and I would bring my Bible with me, and I would go there with that, and they would basically put your Bible away. We don't want to talk about it. So it was very, very disappointing to me. And it really, in fact, is what really started what we call the Six Queens Network today. It started, my former wife, Inez, we were hoping to start a ministry to be able to help Jehovah's Witnesses coming out to learn about God and, nice, simple Christianity. And what happened was it wasn't working. So we came up with the idea that, well, why don't we expose the Watchtower? And then maybe we can get some people who see how bad it is to come in and want to learn about God, the real God of the Bible. So that's what we did. We started Six Queens on that. But to cut to the chase, to make a long story short, that was the most disappointing thing. And, I often thought there's emotions. When a person leaves the Watchtower, just like when a person goes through grief, there's certain stages that they go through. And I always said that, when I first left the Watchtower, I was angry. That was the first emotion that I experienced because, I was angry that I was in there for 50 years of my life, gave them a lot of money, gave them my time, my effort, had even sacrificed many things that I would want in life because of them. So the first thing was I was angry. And then the second emotion, once the angriness left, then I was frustrated because, I had like 60, 70 relatives that were still in and would not talk to me. And I was frustrated they wouldn't even listen to me. I'm showing them copies of the United Nations, how they're involved with that. I'm explaining to them about the occult connections with Johannes Grieber and all of this. And, they just look at me like, I'm some type of a crazy man. And that was very frustrating. So then that emotion passed after about a year. Then the next emotion that we all feel, I'm fascinated. How does a Watchtower do this? And how as you mentioned earlier, how do they really, what's the glue? Well, what keeps this organization together? It's so phony. It's such a scam, but yet at the same time, people still adhere to it. It fascinated me. It really was fascinating. What is going on? How do they keep people in? But now, Anne Marie, I moved on to a different emotion. In fact, what happens, and this is a known factor, you can check it out online. When emotions run the gamut, now it becomes humorous. I find the Watchtower today very humorous. It's like a big joke. It's like a big joke. And many times you'll even hear me laughing in the background because I say, this is absolutely nuts, That's my position.
Yeah, you make a lot of sense. I haven't gotten to the humor part. I just feel sick and I feel sad and I'm still frustrated. And I try to keep being, positive that, like brother dear Randy Waters said, that everybody has their time and nobody else knows their time. And when it's their time, they will have a feeling, a revelation, something will be said, they'll read something will click to help them start the waking up process. They might start, a lot of them just start questioning, or then they want to research. But you've moved along further than I have. I wish I could have your sense and your wisdom, but you've done so much research and you work at it every day. Well, thank you, my brother Rick. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, no, not at all. But I'll tell you what you can do. You can let the people know, give them the last words on here, and then we'll move on to Dick and Constance with Joe. My goodness, we're all looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, I think we want to end the show right now unless somebody has something they really want to share that doesn't take more than 30 seconds. Anybody want to share a 30-second comment? Start it. To this? Okay, we're going to end the show. We had some great comments about things that were difficult to deal when we first came out of the Watchtower, whether we were thrown out or we just left. Susan brought out the problem and the sadness of loneliness. Then we had dear, she wanted to share her story, which I hope she does tomorrow, Six Green Sunday. Then we had our beloved brother, King of the Dots. He shared his poem about being an elder and not being a nice elder at that. Thomas brought out the condition of facing the betrayal, that we were betrayed, lied to, lied about. Our trust was betrayed. Joe, our dear brother, who's going to be on Connie and Dick's show, loss of community. That is so great. Constance brought out realizing that all that love was fake love. Rick brought out that he realized all of the theological lies, twisting of the truth, the cherry picking of the scriptures that Watchtower does, that Watchtower didn't teach the real truth. He talked about anger and grief and frustration that so many of his relatives that are in Watchtower that just wouldn't listen, then to fascination, how they can keep choosing to stay in. And a lot of times, maybe it's a big joke, but it's a serious thing. And Rick does take it all seriously. I want to thank our callers, Susan. I want to thank Penny. I want to thank King of the Dots and Thomas and Joe from South Carolina. 4747, I think was his call handle. and Constance and Dick Borgie, and lastly, our brother Rick. Want to thank everyone who called in. I hope you have a great Six Screen Saturday. Again, today is June 12th, 2024. We need to go to Rick, and we all need to listen to Constance and Dick's show with our ex-elder brother, Joe. Rick?
Well, yeah, Anne-Marie, thank you. I just wanted to mention, too, the woman that came on, we will not have, I want to tell you, too, Anne-Marie, we're not going to have a program tomorrow. There will not be a Six Screen Sunday tomorrow. We are just inundated here with trying to put schedules together and talking with people. I'll be talking tomorrow for the convention. So because of the added scheduling and trying to get everything in order, we will be not having our Six Screen Sunday tomorrow. But we want to thank all those that have come in tonight, and we'll be back with Six Screen Sunday. Now, 2 weeks from tomorrow, of course, will be, well, no, we should have it 2 weeks from tomorrow. We should have it 2 weeks from tomorrow. So maybe the sister would like to call in then if that could be possible for her. So thank you all for coming in. We're going to be going to Dick and Constance Borgie. Don't leave us now, friends. We got a great program coming up. We're still going to be here. We're going to be here till about probably 11, 12 tonight. So, you know, we're going to be hitting as the hours go on, we're getting more and more listeners, and we do have a lot coming in right now. This is really an unusual night of activity. I think with Joe coming on, it's created a real buzz here. So we're looking forward to the program. Stay with us, and I will see you just in about a minute or so on the Dick and Constance program. Thank you very much.